let's talk about something that has kept many of us in unseen chains. Shackles we desperately want to break free from, but can't seem to find a way out of. Beauty standards. I know there's someone out there listening or watching thinking, what do you know about beauty standards, Pearl? Well, let me tell you. I was the ugly one growing up. Yes, I was the ugly friend. I wasn't just considered ugly by strangers, but by some family members too. I was the ugly sister, the least beautiful child. And these weren't just whispers, they were said to my face from a very early age. I was told I was lucky that I was intelligent because at least I had that going for me. Listen, the first time I was called beautiful, I was 17. It came from a middle-aged shopkeeper who looked at me like I was something unreal. I remember walking home in a daze, unable to comprehend that after all the hurtful things, all the bile people had spat at me about my physical appearance, someone had just treated me like I was a revelation. So my brain did what it does best. It started identifying patterns and making sense of them. I'll be sharing those findings with you today, and hopefully you will leave this video with some sort of relief. Let's get into it. If you want to break free from the prison, from the shackles of attaching your worth to physical beauty, there are two things you must accept before anything else. First, in society, looks do matter. They are a form of currency, one of the unfair advantages that some people have in the world. I know some people will try to soften this truth, but you cannot fight something you won't even acknowledge. We've created societies that value aesthetics, appearances, and existing in a way that pleases random people on the streets. While frustrating, acknowledging this fact will help you in the long run. Second, society won't always reflect our beliefs about ourselves, and our beliefs about ourselves don't always align with how society sees us. What do I mean by that? No matter how much you convince yourself that you are the hottest thing since fried yam or fried plantain, whichever one you prefer, that doesn't mean everyone else will agree when you step outside. On the flip side, some might think that you are the most beautiful person on earth, but when you look in the mirror, you do not see it. By recognizing this disconnect between your self-perception and society's perception of you in this context, you take the first step towards shifting your need for external validation to internal validation. Beauty standards thrive on the need for external approval. If you want to stop being a prisoner to them, you need to find an internal replacement. How did I find mine? At 17, I was so deeply affected by being called beautiful. I tell you, the entire day, I was shook. So it led me to look up beauty standards around the world. This is something you can do on Google, just search it. While the media primarily glorifies Eurocentric beauty standards, the reality is that across various cultures, these standards aren't universal. They vary from Ethiopia to Japan to Brazil to South Korea. They vary within regions in West Africa, different countries, different nations, all different standards. Beauty standards are not based on strict rules of logic or validity, but on subjective feelings shaped by what people consume, by their history, by what they've been told to believe, by their cultures or the norms that they were raised in. I realized that even though someone had just called me beautiful, the illogical nature of these standards meant that there must have been somebody in that same shop, in that same store, who disagreed with them because my features, my physicality didn't fit their palate. This led me to a very freeing conclusion. I will always be beautiful and ugly at the same time, depending on who is looking at me. To be constantly beautiful, I would have to read people's minds and contort myself to fit whatever beauty standards they hold. It's impossible, and even if it were possible, the thought of living that way makes me sick. And this leads me to the next point: the fear of being called ugly. Just like beauty, the concept of ugliness is subjective, and I speak as someone who has been called ugly. Think about how you've looked at something, maybe a film or a piece of art that you thought was stunning, like breathtaking. but someone else saw it as meh. They didn't think it was good. What was beautiful to you didn't always align with your perspective. And yes, you can argue that they are influenced by prejudice, limited exposure, or even jealousy. And maybe you are right, but to them, that's reality. Would it stop being breathtaking to you just because they disagreed? The funny thing is, there are some things that some of us have found ugly before, but as our minds expanded, it became beautiful to us. This isn't one of those speeches where I try to convince you that you are beautiful despite everything and despite anything. Rather, I want to help you see just how inconsistent and ever-changing these standards are, and the tragedy of allowing them to shape the expansive, the complex human experience you are having. If you think you are beautiful, that's your opinion. If you think you are ugly, that's your opinion too. And there's people who will share those opinions. They might be the majority, they might be the minority. And while you can change yourself to fit whatever standards the majority have, what happens when you enter a different space with different people who have different preferences, and in that case, they are the majority? What will you do then? That's a question you have to answer for yourself. There is no judgment here. For me, I have found my freedom in logic. The nature of beauty standards is that you can never win the game. That's why every 6 months there's a new insecurity manufactured for you to have. Someone somewhere is building mansions off of the money they make from your pursuit of these standards. The only way out is to stop playing the game. The world is too diverse. There are too many noses, too many body shapes, shades of skin, textures, eye colors, and heights to compare myself to. You cannot win. So, I have made a conscious decision. I cannot base my life, my worth on something as erratic as these standards. I've anchored my value in something far more reliable, my very existence. You might not like my features. I might not make it onto your list of beautiful people, but you cannot deny that I am here. I am a living, breathing being full of possibilities. And because I am here, I get to choose what I do with my presence. Beauty is not just physical. It's the qualities that pleasure the soul, that exalt the mind and the spirit. Our physical features don't encompass beauty. They are just one aspect of it. No one owns beauty and no one gets to weaponize it against me. I feel intense beauty when I watch the skies. When I see the moon, my favorite heavenly body. When the wind blows and the leaves whisper. No one taught us to marvel at the moon. We just do. We look at flowers in wonder. We love all kinds of birds. Why should I separate myself from that? I am part of the magic, and so are you. You are part of the magic nature has to offer. There is so much I bring to this world that has nothing to do with my appearance. Oh my God. In fact, this might be a perk of never being considered the beautiful one, because I've spent time cultivating myself in ways that go beyond my looks. I actually get offended when people see only my appearance, when that's the only thing they see in me. It makes me so angry. It's the least interesting thing about me. It says nothing about my character, about my mind, my dreams, my goals, my fears, and my triumphs. And this isn't to say that I do not care about how I look. I do. Hello? I do. But I care on my own terms, according to my own desires and needs. I focus on how I feel about myself. I focus on expression rather than performance. I've experimented a lot with my looks. Oh my God, y'all don't even know. You're meeting me now. You're meeting me now, but you don't know. And I can do this because I have things I like about myself. You have to have things you like about yourself. For me, I like my mind, I like my heart, my brain and creativity. I love how I see the world. I like the way my fingers move to my words. I love my smile. It lights up my world, okay? My world. So I challenge you, sit down today and reflect on what you like about yourself. Write them down, focus on them, center your life around them instead of chasing arbitrary beauty standards. If you can't find anything you like about yourself, it's a sign that you have work to do. Redirect your energy from performing to doing that work. Because beauty will forever be in the eye of the beholder, I've decided to behold myself in a way that confirms my worth, not in a way that diminishes it. Remember what I said at the beginning. People will see you however they want to see you. But you get to choose how you see yourself, and most importantly, you get to choose what informs how you see yourself. Okay? As always, it's been an absolute pleasure. My name is Pearl Girl, and I'll see you in the next video. Dun, dun, dun.